What's up, 360 fam? What's up? Welcome to Real Estate 360's Sunday School with your host, J. Oliver Miles. How y'all doing today? I know it is Super Bowl Sunday. Some people are going to be, watching the game or getting ready for the game. The other people that are going to be here are dedicated to their careers. This is where you want to make your money. The game is the game, right? And hey, look, we're not talking about football. We're talking about real estate. And we're talking about how you can do better in this business, whether you have been doing it for a while or you're just starting out. None of that really matters, right? I'm giving you the information here to get it going. As always, like, comment, share it with people that you think or know want to hear more about this. If you have any questions, please go ahead and just ask in the comments. If it's something in depth, I'll email you a link and we'll get on here and we'll get this thing worked out, right? But today we're going to talk about how I and how you can talk to real estate agents and get deals. I know. Everybody says don't do that. Don't talk to agents, this, that, and the other. Everyone wants off market, this, that, or the other. The reality of it is this. There are deals everywhere. And in the market that we're in today, really all the time, if you don't utilize an agent to help you out, you've got problems. Hi, Jason. You're more important. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Because this truly is obviously very, very life-changing. And I'm going to show you today how you make this up. What's up, Paul? Thank you, man. How you feeling, brother? Welcome. And listen, Paul and I actually had a conversation about this this week. I was helping a few other people this week do the exact same thing. So without further ado, allow me to just get right into it. I'll see you in a few minutes. Turn up. Being a real estate investor, there's nothing to it.
Sellers are just waiting for my call. Hey.
I'm sick and tired of y'all calling me. Stop calling my phone. I'm just sick of them. Sick.
So basically, there's no competition.
All I have to do is mail these out. Boom. Here comes the money.
Real estate. Easy money.
Hey, get away from my car.
My offers are solid, and they always get accepted.
Be nice.
As real estate investors, we make our own hours.
Now all I have to do is put in these bandit signs.
If you invest in real estate, you know exactly what you just saw. It can be problematic, right? It's the same group of people going after the same group of people saying the same thing to the same group of people. I get it. I've done it all. Some of those strategies can work, but it's all about messaging and numbers. But I'm here to tell you today that there's an absolutely better way to get things done, that you can double what you're doing. If you're a full-time investor already, you should be doing 5 to 10 deals a month. If you're not, let's have a conversation. If you're just getting started, this is the best way for you to go and get started. If you don't have any money to put into marketing and you want to develop a pipeline of deals that's consistently coming through, and you don't have to have the exact same conversation over and over and over again with another new seller. All you have to do is watch this study that I've put together for you. It's a little bit of a training, and let's have a conversation afterward. I've been at this for more than 2 decades, and we've developed strategies and relationships and systems and processes that allow our business to do 15 deals, 12 deals a month per market that we're in. And I want to share this information with you. Click the link below. Let's have a conversation. Peace. All right. Yes, indeed. Y'all sticking with me. I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much. If that is something that you're interested in, hello. The advertisement is funny. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. If you're interested in hearing more about that, the link to that is in the description. Just hit the link, check it out, set up an appointment. Myself or one of my team members will be right there with you. So let's get to it. Now, in the world that we're living in today of economic strife or uncertainty, right, there in our industry has been a lot of changes, right? There's a lot of changes to interest rates, values, the way people are buying. All these things absolutely are affecting the way deals are done. I mean, you've got companies that were doing a lot of deals that are now, they're not doing the same number of deals, right? They're still doing it, but they're not doing the same number of deals. You've got wholesalers out here that are signing up bad deals just to have a deal. You know, there's just not as much business today as there was before in the same manner, right? Hey, Selena. Hey. So there just isn't. It's just not the same. Where you're going to go and most of the investors, the cash investors anyway, that are out there are buying really, really deep, which what does that mean? That means, you know, going back to our 70% thing, you know, they'll get an ARV and they'll take 10% off of it, which is what I talk about, especially when you're looking at comparables that were, you know, 6 months ago, 9 months ago, 12 months ago. You absolutely have to take, depending on where you are, anywhere between 10 to 20% off of whatever that top number was a year ago. You have to do it. So they might find that, then they're going to subtract that percentage, and then they're going to do the 70% minus renovations, minus profit equals your maximum allowable offer. That's just the way that goes. But 96%, well, it depends on which study you read. Some are 96%, some are 94%. I think it's safe to say we can meet in the middle here and say that somewhere around 95% of all real estate transactions are done via the MLS, meaning the properties were listed. So it stands to reason that there would be some opportunity there, right? And in order for us to get there, we have to go through an agent, which most people are like, oh, I just don't want to do that. But I'm going to tell you how I talk to agents and how I create opportunities, whether they're cash deals or creative finance deals. Right now, creative finance deals are great. They're coming that way through agents. But you're also going to get cash deals because as you develop these relationships with an agent or with several agents, they're literally just going to be bringing you deals, whether they're cash deals or creative finance deals. If it's a problem and they believe in you, they believe in your ability to get that done, cool, you are good. Now, I want to ask, you tell me what you think. Do you think that it's easier to build rapport and a relationship with a real estate agent or the homeowner? Let me know what you think. What's easier, real estate agent or homeowner? Now, I'm going to tell you that it's the real estate agent, right? How many of you out there right now are doing cold calling? Just if I know that we've only got a handful of you here, but if you're doing it, just type yes. If you're cold calling, type yes or just Y, right? Let me know that you're out here cold calling. Yes. Okay, cool. So, I mean, that's just real, okay? If you're calling homeowners, you know you're getting hung up on. They're like, you know, if you're calling high equity, you know, they're like, why are you calling me? Make me a deal. Make me an offer. You know, you called me. You know, it's unsolicited. When you're calling real estate agents, they're expecting the call, right? Most of the time. Now, I'm going to tell you, a lot of time real estate agents don't answer the phone, right? Now, that doesn't mean that's just because they are not really interested in their job. Sometimes they're doing a showing, or maybe they're doing paperwork, or maybe they're doing their own cold calling because they do a lot of that as well, right? But what separates them is, and I'll show you this as we move forward here in our session, is the ones that call you back, the ones that are engaging when you do catch them, those are the ones you want. And I know that some of you, Paul, my man Paul, poor Paul is on the phone with real estate agents. I mean, he's calling them, and he's just not getting that far with them right now. That's cool. I'm going to show you what I do. I did this training earlier this week with a young lady in our group, Miss Carolyn. And I'm not going to show you the whole training. I'm going to show you just a couple excerpts from the training. If you want to see the training, it'll be up this week. I think it goes up on Tuesday. Anyway, I'll share it with the group and you can see it from there. But I did this training on how to talk to agents, what to say, how to start to develop a relationship and rapport, and why. Why would it be good to have a good relationship with a handful of agents? Obviously, they're just going to send you deals, right? But here's the thing. When they get those pocket listings, and pocket listings are deals, potential deals that they get that they're going to list, right, from someone they dealt with that they're going to list. They can send you all these pocket deals. They can send you all their hard to close deals. They're going to do all of that, right? But agents are talking to more sellers on a daily basis than you are, generally speaking, right? The know, like, and trust factor is already taken care of. It's done. Okay? They already have the likability with the seller. They already have it. And if a seller is having a problem selling a property, right, meaning it's sitting on the market for too long because of one reason or another, that's cool. This agent has their ear. They trust the agent. So when you show the agent that you can help their seller sell this property, and they're going to make, the seller or the agent's actually going to get paid, sometimes, especially when we're doing creative finance deals, the seller's going to make more money than they would have had they sold it through the agent. But we still make sure the agents get paid. We just do it another way, right? So when you're talking to these agents, and again, when you're cold calling agents, like I like to do it on Saturdays. And so I'll cold call agents. I'm not going to get a bunch of them. And you do it in the morning, right? Sundays are their open house days, sometimes on Saturdays, but I'm calling. I don't really get a hold of them. I'm calling. I know Monday through Friday, they'll pick a couple days a week in the morning when they're doing cold calls. So, I just don't have time in those mornings. But if you've got time in the mornings, calling agents between the hours of 8:30 and 10:30 in the morning are great because they're just getting into the office. They're starting to do their cold calling and they're going through their emails and they're doing all that stuff. So if you've got the time, that's always a good time to do it. But there's a lot of agents out there that just really don't care. They're just like, they're blah about everything. And I'm just going to share this one. Well, I'm going to share the first call. It's a short one. In this first call, let me know what you think of this agent and the way she gets down. I am really interested to hear your feedback from this telephone call. And it's really short. I think it's like a minute and a half. But I want you to hear this person's response to my questions and just their mannerisms. And I just want to get your opinion. All right? You tell me what you think, and then I'm going to tell you what I think. All right? Let's get to it. And remember, they don't answer the phone all the time. So we're just going to keep calling until we get one or two, okay?
Okay. You will now be connected to this Premier agent on a call recorded for quality purposes. Hello?
Hey, Miss Nixon?
Yes.
Hey, Miss Nixon. My name is Jason Miles. Do you have a moment to talk? It's about real estate, of course.
Okay, how can I help you?
Yes, so I am a local real estate investor. We buy properties here in the Atlanta metropolitan area, some other areas as well, but this is our home base. And we're looking for properties that are kind of difficult. Any listings that you might have that are kind of difficult for you to close, foreclosure, short sales, no equity. They've just been on the market for a long time for one reason or another. And
No, not at the moment.
okay. And that's cool. We specialize in, creative financing. We do a lot of cash deals as well. But in the event that you, or maybe even someone in your office comes, has something that they're having a tough time with, I'd like to be someone that you could call for that.
Okay, sounds good. And what was your name again?
My name is Jason Miles, Myles.
Okay, gotcha. All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Now you tell me what you think. You tell me what you think of that call. I'm going to tell you what I think. Here's what I think. And again, please write it in the comments. Tell me what you think, because I'm going to tell you what I think, right? Here, I've got this woman on the phone. I'm calling her with potential business, not just maybe today because she doesn't have the deal, she said, but she wasn't even really interested in, what does that look like? What do you mean problem deals? What does that mean? Right? She didn't even ask that. She didn't ask, questions that a person would ask that, hey, listen, I might be able to. She did not sound interested at all. She didn't sound interested at all, right? She just, it sounded to me, I felt that she just wanted to get me off the phone, right? She just didn't sound interested, right? She lost opportunity for her, absolutely. Because if we just open up the conversation, and say, okay, she could have said, listen, I'm in the middle of something. Can I give you a call back if that's what was going on? She was just very dismissive, completely and totally dismissive. And when some of them are, you'll get a lot of people that say a lot of different things when you get them on the phone, agent-wise. Some of them have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Some of them think that you're scamming if you're talking about creative financing. The list just goes on. Some of them will immediately just shut you down, say, nope, we don't do any of that. We just want our offers this way, that way, or the other. Okay, that's fine. Now, here's what I do when I'm talking to an agent specifically. Not always. Sometimes I say it to the homeowners as well. But if there's a property that's listed, right? Because sometimes, we skip trace everything. We call the owners of properties that are listed, but we're also calling the agent if that property is listed. Also, what did you say here? Also, she didn't even ask a contact number to follow up with her. No, she didn't. She absolutely didn't. Right? But I'm going to call her back because maybe she's better than she was in our first, call. Right? So I call him back. I put on there, I called her on the 6th, I believe it was. So I write it down. I'm old school. I got a little notebook over here. I write it down. This is who I called on the 6th. So I will call her again on the 13th. I'm going to call her on the 13th. I'm going to call her in a week and say, hey, this is Jason Miles. We spoke last week. I was just wondering if anything's changed, or did you want to get a little bit more information about what it is I do, or do you just not have any interest at all? I'm going to ask those questions, right? So the next time that I call her. But you have to understand that a lot of times you're not going to get them on the phone. A lot of times they're not going to understand it because they don't learn it. So they're not going to really be interested. They don't see how they do it. And so I'm always leading, with, hey, this is what I do. And by the way, we make sure you get paid. Okay. We make sure that you get paid. Why do I say that? Because a lot of times to them, it sounds like, oh, how am I being cut out of this? I'm being cut out of this. You want to go direct to my seller? No, I don't want to go direct to your seller. I want to give you the offer. I want to make sure you understand the offer, and then you're going to take it to your seller because that's the way this game works. Now, at some point, I'm going to have to talk to the seller because there's documentation that needs to be signed, 95% of which is going to be signed at the closing. But I want to make sure that everybody is on board. Everybody is clear and understanding of what is going on if we're doing a creative finance deal, right? But I'm seeing right now, we're putting in like lowball offers on houses that have been on the market for 120 days, cash offers, if I see there's high equity in those particular deals. But right now, the creative financing, I'd say about 80% of the deals that we're doing right now are creative financing, about 80%. And definitely over half of them are represented by an agent. And, so we always want to make sure that we're finding a way for them to get paid. Let's see. Lawrence Walker says this. It is the business of real estate. All the avenues have to be covered. Research is the first step. Yes, sir. It absolutely is. And that's on everything, on every level, whether you're researching the property that you want to buy or researching a market that you're going to be selling in, or even researching the education aspect of strategies you want to implement inside your business. True thing, right? Let's see who says this. I asked to speak to the listing agent. Yeah, that's who we want to go after. We're not really interested in the other stuff. And if you remember, I don't know if I did it last week or the week before, but this is going to be the better question. This is right where I was going with it. How did you choose what agents to call? So the reality of it is, I show people how to do this for nothing, right? If you don't have access to the MLS, I show you how to do it for nothing. All I do is go right into Zillow, hit Agent Finder in Zillow. Let me see if I can share my screen. I'm sure I can, but I want to make sure that I don't break anything. Okay, good. All right, let me go in here and change this over to Zillow. Come on, come on. You'll have to excuse me. I got a million windows open and it doesn't help when you're streaming. All right, so here's the easy way to do it. If I didn't show you this before, this is how you get all your free agents, listing agents that you can call and talk to if you do not have access to the MLS. Obviously, if you have access to the MLS, you can go in there, set up all your parameters of houses that are for sale that fit, you know, bedroom, bathroom count, square footage, whatever it is your buy criteria is. And then, you know, you can search for those listings, right? You can look for listings that have been on there for, you know, 90 plus days, 120 plus days, so on and so forth. So anyway, you just hit Agent Finder and then you come down here and you pick whatever neighborhood or area or zip code. Let's say that I want to be in Minnesota. Let's say I want to be in St. Paul, Minnesota. And I'm going to go over here to specialties, and you can hit all these other ones if you want, but I just go straight to listing agent, because no matter what, if it's a relocation, foreclosure, short sale, whatever the case, it's going to already be listed, you know, with that listing agent. So I just hit listing agent, and then literally pages and pages and pages and pages of them pop up, right? Just tons and tons of them pop up. And I will literally just go down the line. You know, if this was a market that I was interested in, I would literally just go down the line. And here's how I find those agents. And again, look at this is marketing for you if you have absolutely no money. If you don't have any money to market, or you're just short right now, or you're looking to add something else to it, calling these agents and giving them the spiel, giving them the conversation, telling them what it is you're looking for. And it doesn't matter if you got to talk to 1,000 of them, because the minute you get 2 or 3 or 5 on your team that are consistently giving you deals, this is something you can literally do nationwide, anywhere USA. And you can literally have people calling you from anywhere in the country saying, I've got this deal, I've got a deal, I've got an opportunity. Do you want this? Can you handle that? 100% of the time. That's how I find my real estate agents. So, you know, this is how I'm doing it, right? This is how I'm doing. Of course, we use the MLS as well, but that is a way that you can immediately jump right in there and start making some things happen for yourself without, you know, any money, just a little time. If you've got yourself an hour, however you do it, I tell people all the time, just if you're going to be doing cold calls, give yourself at least 5 hours a week. I mean, it's really not enough, but in this particular case, it'll be enough. Why is 5 hours a week enough here? Because you're talking to people who sell houses, right? Each one of these people in a year's time is going to represent at least, I would say, a dozen sellers. Each one. Not that every one of them is going to fit your criteria, but here's what an honest agent is going to do. And with an honest agent that understands the market, that understands their area, that understands their industry, when they go to a meeting for a listing, if they're meeting with an unrealistic seller, the good agents are going to tell them, no, I'm not going to list your property for $50,000 more in this market, because 3 months from now, 4 months from now, you're going to be saying to me, hey, we're getting to the end of this listing. We're 3 months, 4 months into this listing, and we're not getting any offers. We're not getting any takers. Well, why? Because you're setting yourself up for an argument later. You're setting yourself up for an argument later. And they're going to be looking at you like you're crazy as an agent. So it's better to tell them, this is an unrealistic deal. Why do you need this extra $50,000? Oh, well, I don't have any equity and I have to get that other $50,000 because I don't have any cash to pay for the closing. Okay, I understand that. See, now an agent that knows me is going to say, I know a guy named Miles who might want to look at this deal. It's a no equity deal. I can get paid. I can make this seller happy. Let me call Miles, or call you if you're doing this thing and you're positioning yourself into the same place, right? You want these calls to come in, and that is why you want to follow up with them, because they're going to forget about you if you don't anchor in this relationship. You've got to anchor it in. You've got to be on them, right? I like to be on them for the first month, whether they're bringing me deals or not. If they're bringing me deals, I know we're going to have a long conversation. If they haven't been able to bring me a deal in a month, I'm not going to necessarily call them every week, but I am going to call them every so often, maybe every week and a half or two. I'm going to follow up with them. I'm going to make them remember me. You're going to remember me. You're going to remember me. All right. So let me get into this next call with you. And I want to show you, and then you tell me what you think the difference is in these calls, right? Because this was a good call. Okay, I can open up with that. It's going to be a little bit longer, but here is how you build rapport with people. And I want to show you how I do it, right? So if you want to get a recording of this training, I'll get it to you. It'll be on YouTube, so you can hear what I say and remember it if it's that important to you, as I think it should be. Okay, so let's just get right into it. Okay, now this one's a little longer. I think it's about 6 minutes, maybe 7 minutes, but it's worth every minute. Okay, here we go.
Hi, this is D-Lo. How can I help you?
Hey, Miss D-Lo, good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm well. What about you?
Best day of my life. I can't complain. Thank you for asking.
Good.
Well, my name is Jason Miles. I'm actually giving you a call today because we're looking to acquire some more real estate. I'm local. We buy properties here local. We buy in other places as well, but this is home, so we really kind of focus on it. And I'm looking to buy properties that are difficult for you to sell, like if listings that you might have that, people that don't have any equity, or they need to sell fast, or there's some problem. It's been on the market for 120 days for one reason or another. We do a lot of cash deals, but we do a lot of creative finance deals for people that are in these kinds of situations. And we always, I want to make sure I put this out there. I always make sure that, the agents get paid. So it doesn't make any sense for you to help me out if you can't get paid. So that wasn't even part of the conversation, right? Well, I got to say it because, I've spoken to people that are like, well, how do I get paid in this? And then of course I have to break it down, but I just wanted to be known, that we're not looking to shortcut around you in any way, shape, or form. We're just looking for hard to do deals that you might have, or maybe people in your office have.
So just email me your criteria on like price point, what you're looking for, and if something come up, I'll think about you.
Absolutely. Now we just stay under $500,000. So it doesn't matter where it is. It's just 500,000 and under.
500,000 and under.
Yeah. You say what?
You have to have more to your criteria, unless you're just coming in slashing and slicing.
I mean, we're not necessarily just slashing and slicing, because a lot of times, I mean, there might be someone asking, $500,000 for a house because that was yesterday's price, and you're looking at it today, and you're like, you know what? We need to take that thing down, $50,000, $60,000 if we really want to get it sold. A lot of times, if the deal makes sense, and it has everything to do with interest rates, things like that for us, excuse me. But if the opportunity makes sense and everybody is amenable to the conversation and the terms that we're talking, I can go ahead and give them the $500,000. We can structure that in. So it's to give you an example, we're doing a deal in Texas right now. It's a creative financing deal. So the gentleman wants he wants 225 for the house. The offers he's been getting are substantially lower than that because of the market. So we come in and I literally just made this deal Friday. So we came in, I explained how I would like to do the creative financing, what I would put down. He said, I need a little bit more money than that. I was going to put down 10%. He said he needed 100,000. So we've got our private money that we'll pull 100,000 out, give him his 100,000, and then he's taking a seller carried second to minimize his tax exposure.
Okay.
But he's moving out of the country, and he has a lien, that he has to pay off. But he wants to have a certain amount of money when he goes out of the country at the end of the month, and it wasn't looking like he was going to make it. So, long story short, that is to kind of show you how we can use different, we use seller financing, we use private equity, we do all kind of different things, sub-twos, whatever the deal calls for that makes sense.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, and that's why that the criteria is, we buy 3 2s, 3 1s, 5, it doesn't matter what it is, as long as it fits in that criteria. The only thing that I don't want are those 700 square foot houses. I can't stand them.
Okay. Acquire the property.
So I'd say maybe 4 out of 5 of the properties that we acquire, we keep, and then we'll wholesale off the rest.
Okay, and the ones you keep, you rent them out.
So our exit strategy isn't a typical rent. We do lease options, wraparound mortgage, short-term rentals.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
So we create homeowners under normal circumstances, but some of the stuff that we get just makes sense to be, short-term rentals. We have, of course, the whole Airbnb route. That's one aspect of it, but we do a lot of corporate rentals as well, meaning, we'll work with an executive team that, like Delta we work with, Coca-Cola we work with, local companies here that have people that are either relocating and they haven't found a place yet and they need a place to stay between now and then, or they're just here for training for a short period of time. So our short-term rentals are all geared towards those.
So I think that's working out perfect.
It works out absolutely. This is a perfect city for that.
I'm gonna have to get in one of your class.
They're always available. Every Sunday at 7 p.m. I do what's called Sunday School. You can catch it on Facebook or YouTube, Twitter, or LinkedIn live.
This your cell number?
Yes, ma'am.
Send me your link or your how I can tap in on Sundays.
Okay, I'll definitely do that. And I have your information here. I've written everything down because I like to follow up and see where we can go. Because you might not, like you said, have something today, but someone, anything can happen at any given time, and I like to be top of mind.
Always, by you calling and reaching out, that's how I remember people. Because see, I'm a realtor, but me and my husband, we also investors.
Okay, perfect.
But see, we're a long-term investment as far as rentals, just regular rentals.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm diversifying. Tap into some other spaces.
Well, some of these exit strategies, we could talk about it another time, but they're going to make you more money and they're going to require less of your time.
Sure. That sounds like a plan. I'm glad you called.
I'm glad you answered. I'm having a good day today. That's right. I'm so glad you answered. You know how hard it is to get agents on the phone sometimes?
I don't like that as well.
Yeah.
When you call, you leave a message or a text and they just do not reply. After I give everybody 24 hours. I'm like, hey, in 24 hours, they at least get back with me.
That's right. At least. Well, I'm glad we did this. Thank you so much. And so lock me in. I'm going to lock you in as well. And I'll make sure I send you a couple links. I'll send you the link to the YouTube channel because I'll send it to Facebook as well. And you can kind of choose what you like from there.
Gotcha. Now, that Facebook, it'll let me know about your times on Sundays.
Yeah. So like if you know what it's going to be like it's in the Facebook group. So you're always going to be notified when that happens. And if you follow me on YouTube, it is going to pop up in your timeline to say, hey, this is what's upcoming. You asked to be notified. So here's your notification.
All right, so I'll do that. Where did you find my number at?
So I went to Zillow and looked for listing agents in my area, and I'm just giving you a call.
Perfect. I appreciate that. All right, cool. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for calling.
Absolutely. I look forward to speaking to you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Now, wasn't that a good call? That is a good call. Okay. Now, you tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you think about it. That is how you build rapport. Totally opposite of the first. She sounds, yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's completely opposite from the first one. She sounds like a woman that wants to make money. Absolutely. In having that short conversation with her, I can tell you definitively that we'll do business together. I'm pretty sure we're going to have a follow-up call also on the 13th, if not sooner. But it is the rapport was built. She and her husband are also real estate investors. There's other ways that we'll be able to potentially work together in the future. You never know who's going to be on the other side of that receiver, right? You just never know. And being on these phones, on these calls, let me get this down. But yeah, she was really good. But being on these calls, definitely a good call. She answered questions and seemed interested. Being on these calls, you're going to meet people like this. This was an excellent call. This was one of my favorite calls this week because you're going to have the opportunity to really work with people. You're going to really be able to build a team. You know, and for anyone that's in my courses, you know, in the very first thing, if you're in my training, the very first thing we do is what's called success in your first 30 days. Part of that is building your success team, right? And why are some, well, I'll get to that in a second, but part of that is building your success team. Having agents on that success team is vitally important, you know, because there are so many times you're going to need them, right? You're going to need them when you're looking for deals like this. You're going to need them when you want to list a deal. If you're doing fix and flips, right? Or wholesale. If you're doing wholesale, wholesale is, well, you're not really going to be doing a lot of that today. The market was really, really good for that in 19, 20, 21, 20 and 21 for sure. And maybe the early part of 22. So what wholesale is buying a property for less than market value for whatever reason, but it doesn't need a ton of work, and then putting it on the retail market, retailing it to an actual homeowner. That's called wholesale. Well, it's a mix between wholesale and retail. You use wholesale methods to find it, but you're retailing it right away without having to do any real significant work to the property, right? All right, so we have someone here who says, why do some agents tell me I need to work with the buyer's agent versus a listing agent? Okay, great question. Okay, so you have to remember that real estate agents are constantly in their own little bubble. They're in their head, okay? And I'm not 100% versed on every state, but I can tell you in most states, you know, you do not have to have a buyer's agent. You can be duly represented by a selling agent, right? A listing agent. You can be duly represented, or only one side of the equation is going to be represented, which ultimately saves the seller money, right? Because if it's 3% on both sides, 3 and 3 is 6. You know, it's, you know, they're basically cutting that in half on a $300,000 house. You know, that's a $9,000 savings. I use half of that, right? So I make a deal with the seller. I say, okay, listen, by me doing this deal for you this way and structuring it for you this way, we don't have to have that second agent. So that's $9,000 I just saved you. Let's split that. You get $4,500 more, and I save $4,500 on the purchase. Either way it goes, you're coming out better. I mean, all parties are winning here. They love it. They absolutely love it. So you have to understand when you're dealing with these agents that you have to tell them, no, I don't want to be represented. I'm an investor and I'm looking to do these kinds of deals. I don't want to I want the best deal possible. And if I don't have to have an agent, I'm not going to have an agent. Simple as that, right? Unless the state makes you do it. And as far as I'm aware, there's no state that actually makes you do it. Now, and again, you have to talk to an actual real estate professional, you know, not just somebody who got their real estate license because they were tired of just dropping the kids off at soccer practice, you know. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of agents out there that are not that good, right? Because they're not really trying. I mean, you know, when they're watching TV, and just investors are the same way. It's no different. I mean, there are people that go and spend enormous amounts of money on education only to never really put in the work, right? They think it's as easy as what they see on television. Of course it's not. It doesn't matter if you're an agent or an investor. You have to put in the work. You have to consistently educate yourself with what's out there. If you're going to work with real estate investors as a real estate agent, you need to understand how they think and speak, because they're going to bring you constant business, okay? Constant business. You have to teach yourself. So we'll get somebody here that says, Word Ab Power definitely deserves our input. Now, I did not understand what that was. So you're going to have to clarify what that means to me. I think it's a statement, but I'm not 100% sure, right? You're going to tell me what that means, because I don't know what that means, right? So going back to the agent, that agent there, obviously very, very good, very insightful, very interested in the conversation and the opportunities that lay in front of us. The other one, not so much. Not so much at all. Ooh, all right. Do you have a formula for wholesale deals? Absolutely, you got to have one. And I talk about this a lot all the time, right? It's something that's very, very important. So here's your equation under normal circumstances. I'll get into the comping thing. You know, we did comping last week, and we can talk about it some more. We got time, right? So here is your wholesale equation. Once you've determined ARV, which is from your comps, right? Once you've determined ARV, in the market that I'm looking at today, well, it depends on the city, but it's going to be either 70 or 75%. So you're going to do ARV times 70. If you're in a city that's still hot, 75%, right? I mean, you can do your number at 70%, but also do it at 75 so you can see where your margins are, because you still got people buying like that. I'm not buying like that, okay? I'm buying as deep as I can possibly, but I'm not buying at 75. I'm in at 70, all right? Orlando is the city. I would tell you, even in Orlando, because there's a lot of changes, even though it hasn't slowed down all the way in Florida, it will. I think that you need to be at 70, because lending is still at 80, some at 85%. I would do it at 70%, but you can do it at 75%. Run these numbers the same way so that you can figure this out, right? So ARV times 70% minus renovation minus what you want for your wholesale fee is going to give you your maximum allowable offer. So if we just throw out a number here, let's say, I like to use round numbers. We're going to say a $300,000 house. If we've determined that this house is actually, the ARV is $300,000, it's going to be 70% of that. So that's $210,000. Let's say that we've determined the renovation was $50,000. We're going to take that away from there. Now we're at $160,000. Let's say you want to make $10,000. You're going to take that off of there. That's $150,000. So the most you're going to pay for that house is $150,000 in that equation. That's how that works, right? So, I wanted to make a point. About that. Well, let's say that's 150. So if we did it at 75%, just to give you a variance, 75% of 350,000 is what? So that's 225. Minus the same 50 is 175. Minus the 10 is 165. MAO is now 165. So 150 to 165 is as much as you're going to spend on that $300,000 house. But you say, Miles, wait. How much does it cost to renovate? Or how do you know this renovation cost? I'm going to tell you just flat out. If it's a full gut renovation, you just take the square footage and you multiply it by $60 a square foot. Okay? I mean, we've got some charts and some spreadsheets that you can utilize. You don't have to be a perfect comper. I mean, a perfect, comper at the cost of renovation. You do want to get better at it over time. But if it's like a full gut, $60 a square foot. There you have it, right? If it is a situation where you say, well, this is just cosmetics, okay, but, you're just going to go in and paint. Maybe you're going to redo the bathrooms, but, all your electrical stuff is all intact. All your plumbing is intact. Your HVAC is intact. It's just basically paint and modernization. It's be somewhere between $30 and $35 a square foot, right? It just depends on how it looks. But if you have that question and you're looking at a house, just give me a call or whoever it is you're working with so they can kind of give you an idea, because you don't want to send contractors out there that aren't going to get the work. Okay, it's going to cost you money, and then you very well may burn a bridge because you wasted their time. So you have to get good at determining what the renovation costs are going to be. You're going to be within, 5 or 10%, plus or minus. That's fine. That's fine. You just have to have a ballpark figure. Okay. So I hope that answered your question. So it's ARV times 70 or 75%. In Orlando, again, I would do 70%. Minus the cost of renovation, minus what you anticipate making. That's your maximum allowable offer. But again, if your maximum allowable offer is 150, are you going to start at 150? No, you're probably going to start at 140. That's probably what you're going to do. Let's see, we got another question here. I've been running into pushback when I say I'm a wholesaler. Now I say I'm an investor, and agents are better with that. Okay, so let me give you the mathematics on this. When you tell people you're a wholesaler, they know that you're going to just be wholesaling this thing out. Wholesalers have, there's bad wholesalers and there's good wholesalers. But as a whole, nationwide, wholesalers have gotten a bad rap for a lot of different reasons. But it all stems from people not doing things properly, putting properties under contract, not really being, bad deals, not being able to sell them. They're not doing their homework, right? That's why we always start from the ground up when we do this education stuff. If you don't start from the ground up, you're going to miss things. And if you miss things, inadvertently, you can put someone in a bad situation. We don't want that to happen. That's why this community exists, okay? So it's good. Yes, you always want to say you're an investor. We say we have a group of investors that we work with, because when we put things under contract, there's a couple different ways you could do it. You can write your name or your company's name and or signs. I put my company's name TBD, to be determined, because ultimately that property is going to wind up in the name of another company, more than likely in a trust. So that's how we do it. I'm going to contract it under our acquisitions company, which is Will Buy. That's the name of our acquisitions company, but it doesn't mean it's going to close in the name of Will Buy. It can close in the name of something else, depending on where we need it to fall in our tree of companies. Every company isn't going to have every property, right? It just doesn't work that way. Let's see. We got another question. Thank you for asking questions. I love the engagement. You're making me feel good. What's your take on the last statement? Well, I guess that was that question that we just answered over there. So that's what we do there. Thanks. You're welcome. You're very welcome. So that's what we do over there. Excuse me. Excuse me. I want to take a second to congratulate a couple people. We've got a couple of people that came into the program this week. Welcome. I look forward to working with you all. Y'all get busy on your success in your first 30 days. And we've got we've got Will, we've got Michael, and we've got Julia, who have all come in to the program. I want to just say welcome. You guys are in for a treat, a ride, and listen, we are going to have a good time in September. So now, just to put it out there, for our Belize trip, we're only taking 20 people. We now have, with these three, we have seven. Seven. So we have 7 people locked in for the event in September. If you want to be one of the remaining 13 people for our Belize mastermind, which is we're calling the Collective Mind Summit, just reach out to me and we can have a conversation from there. It's simple as that, right? Congratulations, Will, Michael, and Julia. Yes, congratulations. I am so happy to have y'all in the family, in the community. It's going to be fun. It is going to be fun. Now, Mike was already in the program, so Mike just went ahead and got into, paid for the mastermind, paid for our summit, the Collective Mind Summit, and it's just going to be fun. So, obviously there's going to be more than fun. So we're going to talk real estate. We're going to talk business development. We're going to talk financing, how to raise private capital. We're going to talk about protecting the capital that you do make, right? Asset planning, all that great stuff. We're going to go over all that. We've got professionals in those fields coming, personal development. We've got professionals coming in for absolutely everything. So, but again, as I always say, as much as you're going to learn, it's more about the community. It's about the networking. You're going to be there with people from around the country that are working on different levels, doing different things that you can learn from, that you can share with, and just really just make life happen for yourself. These are people you'll do business with in the future, create and develop relationships with. This is what this community is about. It's not about trying to make all the money, but make all the money. I encourage you to make all the money. If we can do what I know can happen, this can be a community of people over time that is just it's self-contained. It's a self-contained unit because everyone will bring different attributes to the collective, and then you go from there. That's what it is. And we're just starting out with the single family stuff, right? I don't just do single family. We buy multifamily, we buy businesses, we do all those things. I still do this because I need to keep my blade sharp. Why do I need to keep my real estate blade sharp? Because I need to be able to share this information with you. Because you and everyone like you and myself, we all started out somewhere. We want to get somewhere. We're where we are. But with this information, we can turn whatever it is we have into a 6-figure income, and then a 7-figure income, and then an 8-figure net worth and income. Those are realistic goals. It's not unrealistic for you to sit here and say to yourself, I want to have a net worth of $1 million in 12 months. That's not unrealistic. That's not unrealistic at all. I want to have a passive income of $100,000. Whatever your goal is, let's just do it. Can you explain here? We got a great question here. Can you explain the creative finance deal you just completed? Did you raise money for the down payment the seller needed? So I'm assuming that you're talking about that Texas deal that was in that phone call. So this is a very interesting deal. So there are companies that you can go to and say, I need to borrow 50%, 60% of the money to do this deal. So this is a different kind of a structuring method because we're putting in a lender, right? Your credit doesn't even matter in this situation, not with these lenders when they're just loaning you 50%. But we have a lender. It's a private lender, but it's a lender nonetheless. They come in with 50% of the money. This guy took a seller carryback second. Now, there's different things that we could do. There are other deals that you do where people need more money, where they got a ton of equity. They got a whole bunch of equity, right? And they want to have or need to have X number of dollars to go on about their business. We'll borrow that money when they have that much equity, and then we'll have them loan us a piece of that money back. That is a completely different way. You don't explain it to your lenders. You just structure it that way, and it's all done right there at the closing table. I don't want to confuse you with that, but in this particular deal, we borrowed, I think it was $150,000. It was $150,000 that we borrowed. he's going to have a $95,000 loan. It's going to cost us roughly $5,000 to close, the closing costs, insurance, and everything else. So we're going to leave that closing with $15,000 cash in our pocket. And by the way, that deal is, I got the second mortgage, the seller carried back second, interest only, 36 months. Ooh, y'all don't even know. Well, let me tell you, when you are good at what you do and you know it, you got to be not be afraid to ask for what you want. Because where do you go get a no interest loan today on $95,000? Come on now. Come on. Even our first position on that $150,000, even though it's high, it's at 6%, but it's 6% aggregated out over the whole thing, which takes us down to just under 4%. I mean, it's bananas. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a property that will cash flow us over $1,200 a month doing an owner finance strategy. You could do a HELOC, but this is not a HELOC. It is not a home equity line of credit. This is a new loan in first position, and our seller is taking a seller carried back second. And we just go from there. That's how we do these deals, right? These deals are all over the place, okay? They are literally all over the place. Don't keep yourself locked into one geographic area. That's fine if that's where you want to start, but and build your network there and get all the deals for yourself. You can do that. You can do that. But as you grow and you want to, you want to expand, and we start looking at those. I hope I was able to answer your question. I pray that I was able to answer that question effectively for you. And we can get on the phone. We need to get another call anyway, there, Miss Richardson. We got to get on. I'll text you when we finish up tonight, but we need to schedule another time. But these creative finance structures are going to get you there faster. I mean, just imagine. And by the way, that is literally a no money deal. Not a penny out of pocket. Not a single red cent. Well, I have to clarify that. We did have to put the earnest money down. Okay, cool. Perfect. I did. Thank you. We did have to put the earnest money down. That's it. $2,000 non-refundable earnest money. He was very adamant about that. But when you know you're buying it, when you know you're the buyer, you know what your exit is on that, you're not worried about anything like that. But I'm not paying points on the loan. It's being rolled in. I don't have to come up with 10%, 5%, 3%, 20%, none of that. Nothing. In fact, even the $2,000 didn't come out of my pocket, it came out of my partner's pocket. So that's how this goes. You can turn nothing in 3 months' time. If you're really adamant about it, you could turn nothing into, at least $50,000. I mean, I won't even be that aggressive. You can turn it you could turn nothing in 3 months into probably $20,000 or $25,000. Easy. Just by utilizing some of these strategies. I've just shared with you how to get listing agents to give you information and deals for nothing. It doesn't cost you any money to skip trace those. It doesn't cost you any money to call these people other than your cell phone bill, which you already have, right? Presumably. It costs you nothing. It costs you nothing to negotiate. It might cost you something when it comes down to the earnest money, but guess what? If you don't have that, that's what partnership programs are for. And we have that. Our community has that. You can go right to the community or call me and say, look, I got this deal. If it fits into the buy box, then we'll go ahead and take it down. We'll work the deal with you. We'll work it with you. Okay? So but it's not just me. You can find partners in the community as well. You can find partners you can wholesale that deal. There's so many things you can do. From the creative financing to the cash deals. You will find more creative finance opportunities available to you right now, though. From real estate to businesses, multifamily, you name it. All it is leverage. All you're doing is talking about leveraging an asset that produces capital. And if everything you do, like the way we teach it, if If it doesn't make you at least $400 a month, it's really not worth your time. Wholesale it off. There's other people that want to make that $300 or $250. It's too much work, in my opinion, for you. But you can wholesale it off and you might make $5,000 or $3,000. Would you rather make $250 a month, or would you rather make $5,000 or even $3,000 in a week or two? At some point, you know, you're going to want the cash flow, but it has to meet a criteria. If it doesn't meet your criteria, forget it. If you do the $400 minimum monthly passive income, it takes you 21 deals to get to a passive income of $100,000 a year. Do the math. Do the math for yourself while you're there. 21 times 400. That's going to put you just over $100,000 a year. And that's just the passive side, right? Some houses you do, like the one I just explained, we're going to make $1,200 on that one. That's like 3 of these houses. That's like 3 of them. Okay? So you put that to work, and that's not counting your down payments. It's not counting your down payments. Your down payments aren't it's not passive. Those are lump sums that come in, and you will have definitely made more than $100,000 in that year, or however long it takes you. I mean, we've got people that are buying, you know, and keeping 5 houses a month, 6 houses a month. There's no reason that you can't be one of those people as well. I'm telling you, everything changes when you have an asset that's producing income. All you have to do is get to the place that you want to get to financially, and it starts with just your first deal. All you have to do is the first deal. And then you just keep on going. You just keep on going and be more creative in the things that you do. You know, add more things, add more people, more conversations. That all brings new opportunity to you. But I'm not going to hold you guys up anymore. I know some of you want to get to the game. That's cool. Me, I've got some talking to do. I've got some writing to do. I've got some emails to send. I got some books that need to get mailed out tomorrow. I got to go to work. So thank you so very much for your time. I hope I was able to shed some light on some things for you. We're going to have another one again next week. Obviously, we're going to do it every single week. If there's a problem, I'll let you know in advance. But do you have a per door minimum? Well, the per door minimum in terms of profit, that's a good question. The per door minimum for me on a single family house is $400. On a multifamily, it'll be different, right? So depending on the property, because everything is different on a multifamily, if it depends on the size. We want to do, man, it's really tough to tell. I mean, at best, we want to come in those deals doing $100 a door. That's at best, that's what we want to be at. That's where we want to be. That's where we try to be. But it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes it's 75, sometimes it's 60. But we know within the next 12 months, we're going to be able to get that up to 100 because of our plan. So it just depends on where we're buying it. It's a really difficult question to ask, but for me, it's $400. You'll talk to other investors, they might say 300, some might say 6. Everybody's different, right? Everybody's different. For me, it's 4 because I know how much easier it is to kind of hit that target. So it's that, you know, under promise, over deliver kind of thing. I think that's the best way to describe it. Under promise, over deliver. If I tell you, look, every deal that we need to do is going to be 400, you might look at a deal, hey, this one's 500. Hey, this one's 900. You know, we're way over. Oh, I'm going to meet. And it gives you the feeling of hitting your target a lot sooner, especially if your target is that first $100,000 passively on the side, right? On the side. It's a realistic number to hit. It's not aiming too low, but it's aiming low enough that it makes you work, because there's a lot of people out here that are making, you know, $200 on a house that they're renting. Too much work. Too much work in year 1 and 2. All right? It's just too much work in year 1 and 2. And if you can't keep a tenant in that house, it's tough. That's why we don't do house rentals. You know, we are in the rental space in the multifamily side, but not with houses. With houses, we're doing, you know, like you heard me say, we do the short-term rentals. We'll work with, you know, we do lease options and wraparound mortgages. We want homeowners. We want people that are going to give a chunk of money to move into this property with the intention on being there for a significant amount of time. Because I don't want to have to do it again. I mean, the less time I have to spend at that property, I don't have to call up a homeowner. How many times has your bank or landlord call you, but how many times has your bank called you, right? When your toilet breaks, you ain't calling the bank. You can't call the bank. You got to go get that thing fixed. I just want to be the bank. Just send your payment and fix your house. It's your house. It's your house. And so that's how we do it. I don't want to be over there. I just want my check. My minimum is $400 on my single family stuff, but we generally will get more than that, but it's $400. That's how I teach it, because I want you to win. On our multifamily, I'd love to get 100. Sometimes it starts off at 60 or 50, but I'll get there. Deal just has to make sense. So I hope I was able to answer everybody's questions. I really appreciate you guys taking this time to come and hang out with me and do this. If you want to talk more about, how to work together, just hit the link in the description here. Watch that. If you're interested after that, there's another link that sends you to a calendar, and we'll go from there. And Ms. Richardson, I'm going to follow up with you in just a little bit. I really appreciate you guys. And again, welcome to our new members. I can't wait to see you guys in Belize. Let's go have fun. What's going on, friends and family? How y'all feeling today? I hope you're feeling great, doing well. I've had a lot of conversations over the past, I'd probably say about the past couple months, 2-3 months, about people wanting to get involved in real estate and asking how they can get involved in real estate given all that's going on with the economy. Well, you either have a lot of time, which means you don't have the money, or you have a lot of money, which means you don't have the time. And they want to know how they can get involved in real estate. Some of them have said, look, man, what do I need to do to just get into a deal, right? I don't really have the time to do all of that. So we've just invested their money in some of the deals that we do. So I'm here to open the invitation to all my friends and family that are watching this right now. If you're interested in getting involved in real estate and you simply don't have a ton of money, or you don't have a ton of time, maybe you only have, $5,000, maybe you have $100,000, I don't know. But if you're interested in investing in real estate deals passively, truly passively, just reach out to me. There's no link. This isn't an ad. Just DM me and let's have a conversation. We've got deals right now that we can fund. Right now, as of right now, multifamily as well as single family. Deals that you can be in as little as 6 months and as much as 2 or 3 years. Depends on the scenario and what your particular investment strategy is. All I can say is let's have a conversation. So if you're interested, friends and family, just reach out. Let's have a conversation. I'll see you later. Peace. See y'all later. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great Sunday.